words. Are there any words left? Thank you, Larry. Good words. All good words. Thank you to Babs, who brought us to a beautiful place to hear all the words. It helps us hear them. Thank you, Daniel, for leading us here. I was on a plane with Daniel and Rob on Saturday night, and we were flying back into that storm that killed 9 people in Mississippi. Daniel was right in front of me, and I heard him just gently talking to the guy next to him. He said, "Hi, I'm Daniel." And I thought about, it was the day after Cecil's memorial service in Asheville, and thought about what a bull in a china shop Cecil was, and we loved him. And what a gentle shepherd Daniel has been and is for us, and has helped us heal. And we love him. And I'm not always sure where we're going to go next, but I will follow Daniel and Rob and all of you in this collaboration, because it is my Baptist home, and this is my fellowship. Tell me the story of Jesus. What's the next line? Right on my heart. Tell me the story most precious. One of my first clear pictures of God in the world, outside of my parents, came from the bright smiles and the ebony faces of women in Rhodesia, where I was born. They taught my 3 older sisters and I a song called Chiparutse. It's a song about a friend, a Shamwadi, who promised to help them carry their burdens. And as they sang the song, they would dance in a circle under a tree where we met for church. And as they danced, they would pretend to bend over and carry heavy loads, because their friend, illustrating the fact that their friend was going to help them carry their burdens. I loved this about growing up and going to church with chickens and dogs and grass blades and dancing and singing and smiling and laughing. In the middle of the second verse, the women who know the meaning of heavy loads would begin to take off the burdens from their sisters' backs and carry them for them, illustrating Jesus. And sometimes they would unwrap a baby from one back and tie it onto their own. And the babies were happy as long as they were carried along. All the while singing Chiparutse, Shamwadi. By the end of the song, they were standing tall and dancing straight up and down because they had helped carry one another's burdens. It is a beautiful picture of a Christian fellowship lived well together. Notice that it's in a line, in a circle, not in a line. They lived out the unforced rhythms of grace together. So how do we turn dreams to actions? Listen to the rhythm. This is part of why I want us to reconsider our structure yesterday. Currently, it is hard for us to listen to each other. Sitting around tables has been so helpful. I didn't know, Bill Wilson, this thing you had to offer us at the Center for Congregational Health. I didn't know, Dennis, about that new program that you're working on, that new degree that might collaborate with something that we're doing. We don't know what each other is doing unless we can sit around tables and listen. We need each other. I need John and David to write the words. Lex, I enjoyed hearing the stories of Cecil last night. Molly, I always need a dictionary. Do you hear the rhythm? Listening to the rhythm has to happen so that we can hear the potential opportunities, Dr. Underwood, and to share the resources and to eliminate redundancy, to harness the energy and move in the same direction together. At the very least, listening helps us to avoid bumping into each other. You have to listen to the rhythm if you want to join the dance. The rhythm is critical to a movement. 2, learn the melody. Almost every table yesterday talked in some form about clarifying our Baptist identity. Who are we? I think our melody is a combination of knowing our history and articulating a relevant vision in the world as moderate Baptists. When David and I were asked to start Passport, we lived in the basement of the Southern Seminary guest house, and David had sort of creatively borrowed one of the phone lines. Churches needed to call and register for Passport, and as Al Moeller lived upstairs in our house for a while with his family while they renovated his new house, we were downstairs taking registrations for our CBF camp. And the voices on the other side of the phone were always a little bit edgy, a little bit nervous, a little bit anxious, a little bit suspicious. They wanted to know who we were. They wanted to know our identity. They wanted to know who was paying the bills, which I thought was a great question. So we learned to answer really carefully. And so I would say, well, let me tell you about our program. We do missions every day. And that would kind of calm them down because all Baptists love missions. And then I would say, I probably need to let you know this so you'll know if you want to come to our camp or not. We have a dance. And if they were still on the phone, some of them hung up. Then I would say, and you probably need to know we have a women preacher this year. And that's when you would hear them smile. That was like code to get into the party. That was open sesame. Welcome to the field of freedom. Oh, you're who I was looking for. Our identity is a combination of our history and what we say about ourselves now, how we define ourselves. So learn the melody.